And shout, it's time for What's Trending. What's Trending is presented by BYU Food to Go, the MVP of your next event. So over the weekend, two incoming Big 12 athletic directors, UCF and Houston, both either said or implied that the Big 12 football schedule was coming out Tuesday or soon, then backtracked or went quiet on it. In December, we thought it might be released. We heard February a couple weeks ago at the National Championship Media Day with Brett Yormark and whatnot. So at this point, do you care when the Big 12 football schedule comes out?
Saw a great tweet from Cougar Stats. Said, I think the Empire State Building was constructed in less time than the expanded Big 12 schedule.
Let's make it liken it unto us. The Salt Lake Temple was built quicker than...
Something like that. You know, I think Oklahoma and Texas messed it up. I think it was on schedule to come out December 1st, and then it was on schedule to come out with the announced TV deal at the championship game. That TV deal isn't done yet, though. Not signed.
They haven't announced it. Yeah.
So they haven't.
We've heard the report.
Thing,
yep.
So then Texas and Oklahoma won out a year earlier, so that they can expand in the SEC at the same time the Big Ten expands with USC. Makes sense for those two leagues. And then for some reason, then everything just stopped. And even BYU officials kind of like, we're just waiting to see. The Olympic sports schedules are all done. Women's basketball, men's basketball, of course, the big one, football, has yet to be announced. Be cool if it came out tomorrow, but I don't think it will. But how many times you check your phone each day going, maybe it just came out?
At this point, I'm not waiting for it on pins and needles like that. But you mentioned the basketball schedule. They just haven't announced those then? They haven't come out.
They haven't announced
yet,
the Olympics, but the Olympic sports are done. They're already BYU.
Volleyball, soccer. Oh,
yeah.
Well, let's get them. Let's talk about it. I'd love to know in basketball what the who you're playing once at home and not on the road.
That's going to be interesting. Yeah. So those are the big three that we still haven't got. Women's hoops, men's hoops, and football.
Yeah. Soccer and volleyball, baseball, softball, gymnastics, all interested in those, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
And whatnot. Yeah, I don't really care when it comes out at this point. I would love it by the end of February, just because it's nice to have going into kind of the spring, summer, and figuring it all out. But in terms of the timing, no. But what I really hope to know is, obviously, who is on the schedule. I would love Texas and Oklahoma to be on there because we don't know whether there's going to be a year two. It'd be awesome to have them both in Provo. Guessing at least one of those two would be in Provo. Love to have the bye week in the middle of the year. Ideally 3 games into conference play, which is at the midway point. It's just hard to play like 9 or 10 in a row. I'm hoping it's not early. Like the first 2 weeks should be very winnable games at home that don't require a bye week to get over them. At Arkansas, a couple more Big 12 games, ideally 3, and then a bye week would be the most ideal time. I'd almost take it a little later or sooner, somewhere in that kind of, game 5, 6, 7 area would be nice. And then I don't really care about 5 home, 4 road in particular this year. I would love BYU to get into the 7 home game range. Yeah. Listen, fans, just understand, 1, tickets are going to be more expensive, and 2, if BYU gets a 7 home game situation, they better their chances to actually do something in a season because you're just better at home, right? But it costs more money. The cost of that success, potentially if you win, is that it costs you more at home, paying for the game when you show up to the stadium. So just understand that point. So we'll see what happens. BYU at a minimum obviously has 6 home games. But I'd love to get in the 7 home game range at some point.
I would like to see us play 7 and that 7th game in Vegas because that's out of the season ticket package. So the season ticket holder doesn't get hit by that extra game because that's the difference maybe between $2,500 and $3,500, or depending on where you want to sit. But if you move it to Vegas and then you say, hey, anyone can buy a ticket down in Vegas, and we know that BYU can
as a home game, you're saying?
As a home game. And
but not part of the season ticket.
Not part of the season ticket package. That way you get 7 games that aren't in an opposing team stadium.
Yes, 6.
Vegas is your stadium, and then you get 6 here.
Yeah.
And maybe it's a Big 12 game down in Vegas, or maybe it's
anybody but Notre Dame.
Anybody but Notre Dame. It took us, 2 centuries to get that game.
What will take longer, BYU scheduling Notre Dame or getting the Big 12?
And I know some people don't like playing games down in Vegas. I am not one of those guys. Who doesn't? You know, I just think
there are people that don't. I think it's awesome. The Arizona game was unbelievable. The Notre Dame game, obviously, was mostly Notre Dame fans. Great showing from BYU fans out there.
Vegas is just a venue that should be part of our.
I think so. And realistically, like every year would be awesome, obviously. But I think the allure of that would become old. I think once every like 3 or 4 years would be great.
The allure of it might get old for everyone who doesn't live in Vegas, California, and Arizona, because it's their one shot to get here without having to drive all the way up. And you know, Vegas alone can fill a venue. We've seen that for years of BYU fans. But I think what I'm most interested in and why I want to see the schedule is because I want to see the schedule. It's the official thing of like, well, this is actually happening. We know July 1st is going to happen. It happens every year on the calendar.
Yes, it does.
June ends, here comes July. But it's the hey, Oklahoma is going to play this, or BYU is going to play at Texas on this date, or whoever. I don't care so much who's coming, who's going, but I just like to see it. I just like to see it. I think that's the intrigue. Because after you see it, it's like, okay, it's still a long ways till September.
And no matter when it comes out, it's going to be a long ways till September 3rd. And Sam Houston, who's making the upgrade from FCS to FBS the last year or two. But do you care which 4 aren't on the schedule?
No.
Don't care?
No.
Me too. I'm not as concerned about that outside of Texas and Oklahoma. While they're still in the Big 12, at least this year, I really would like them to be on the schedule.
And we'll see where BYU is going to be in the pecking order. Because everyone wants Texas and Oklahoma one more shot. Do they give them to the longtime league?
If they're petty and vindictive,
members?
They'll make them go to UCF, West Virginia, and BYU.
Right, and they might be. And does BYU get the prime bye week? I don't know why they would. So where do they fit the new guys as opposed to when does Oklahoma State want their bye week? Do they outweigh BYU going, we'd like the middle of the season? Like, actually, you'll have yours in September, but it won't be in November. Yeah. Which will snap a trend of 12 years.
Yes, which will be good. Compelling November games, obviously, as BYU is probably even fighting for a bowl game at that point. And even when we get the schedule, we'll make some predictions based on what we think we know. No one knows what their rosters are like right now with the transfer portal. You can still get guys. People are still going to sign guys in 2 weeks on the official signing day, the second one, right? And then you get through the summer and everything. And then TCU was picked, what, 9th last year or something? They make the national title game. Yeah. It's just the fun of it is, well, we think it's going to be this, but let's play it out and see. What if Keaton Slovis is a third-team All-American? BYU's 10-2. Who knows?
That's why we do it, right?
The
hype machine that is this show. Once it gets to the Big 12 schedule, look out.
We got 5 hours to
beat that drum for the next 7 months. It's going to